right in the kisser.
How the devil are you? We've got the Douk Audio DAC Q11, the new DAC from Douk Audio. Now, this is a little bit different from other DACs because it has 2 DAC chips.
Yeah, but other DACs have 2 DAC chips in them.
Well, yes they do, but they don't have 2 different DAC chips, do they? This has an AKM DAC in it and an ESS DAC in it. So it's not the same as the others. One of these things is not like the other.
One of these things is not like the other. One of these things just doesn't belong. Can you tell which thing is not like the other before I finish my song?
Is anyone old enough watching this to remember that? It's a blast from my childhood. Anyway, yeah, so it has 2 separate DACs which you can use independently or both together, which I'll be showing later in the video. So the first thing we need to do is get this out of the box.
Ta-da!
Okay, let's have a little look at the specs. So the DAC chips we've got are the ESS9038Q2M and also the AK4493. The max sampling rate supported is through the USB is PCM 32-bit 384 kilohertz and DSD 256. Through the Coaxial and Optical, you're getting 24-bit 192. Frequency response 20 to 20. Total harmonic distortion plus noise is 0.0003% at 1 kilohertz. Signal to noise ratio is 117 dB. Now, I don't think there's anything else of worth of note there. But here's the thing, right? So, how much do these measurements matter in reality? Because I think we're being sold measurements recently. I find so anyway. And let me explain. So I think a lot of companies are realizing that measurements are important to a lot of people, and I think that because of the rise of a lot of websites and channels who push measurements forward, like ASR. He's always sort of Amir over at ASR is always like reviewing stuff regarding its measurements. But here's the thing with measurements. I've had things which measure well and I don't like the sound of. So even though measurements are important, I don't think they're the be all and end all. And I'll give you a comparison. So I have a topping D53 DAC. And if you look at the measurements compared from this to the Douk Audio Q11, it measures quite considerably better. So if you look at total harmonic distortion plus noise is 0.00008% at 1 kilohertz, and that's through RCA. TRS is at 6% there, right? 0.00000. And signal to noise ratio is 127 dB and 132 dB, compared to signal to noise ratio 117 dB and only 3 zeros and 3%, well, that's 4 zeros, okay, 8%. So really, really good measurements here, really good measurements, okay? But are they out of the realm of human hearing? That's my issue. Could you hear this? I doubt it very much compared to that. I don't think our ears could pick it up, even if you've got really good ears and you're 18 years old. I don't think you could pick that up. Yeah, it measures fantastic, okay? But can your ears actually detect that? Anyway, so what I'm going to do later is I'm going to do a sound test later in the video, comparing the 3 modes of the Douk Audio DAC, the Q11, and then I'm going to be comparing the Q11 to the topping D53. And so wait for that, that's coming up shortly. Anyway, before we do that, let's have a closer look at the DAC itself. And here it is. Ta-da! Right, so on the front you've got this dial, got 2 screens here. Now, so this dial, it's your volume, your on-off, and your modes. So just press it to come on, welcome. And there you can see your volume there, okay? And if you want to go through your modes, you just press it then, we'll get it off. So see coaxial, optical, USB, boom. Here then you've got which mode you want it on. So you've got whether you want it on just the ESS DAC or whether you want it on the AKM and the ESS together, or whether you want just the AKM DAC. And you can choose between them, okay? And on the screen there, when it comes back, I should have pressed it. What did I turn that for? On there, you can see what your input is. It's saying it's 44.1 kilohertz. Now, if I want that to be more, I need to change that on my PC. So I'll go into my PC settings, sound settings, like that, and change that to 300, whatever it is, right? Actually, I'll do that now. There you go, it's 384 kilohertz now. Right, so most of the functions you can access on the front panel here. But if you want to access the mode, you need the remote. So don't lose the remote, okay? Because there's no way on this front panel to change your mode to run through the DACs. So just use this select button here. And it's mode 2, which is AKM, mode 3, which is ESS, and mode 1, which is AKM and the ESS DAC together. You also got your volume on here. And then you've got this. Now I thought this was the brightness button, and I think they've missed a trick here, personally. So all this does is turn it on, off, and on. Off and on. I think they should have had a dimmer. Someone wanted it a little bit dimmer, maybe have 3 modes, but it's just off and on. There you go. Then you got your mute there, and you've got your power on and off standby. Now, I do really like the way this looks, and also look how nice it fits on top of my AIMA B07. Perfect fit. Now, I do find a lot of the stuff coming over from China, they're all different sizes. And when you start stacking them up on top of each other, it looks like an unfinished game of Jenga. Okay, it's just all over the place. So it's nice that it actually fits in perfect harmony with my AIMA B07. I wish they'd come up with some sort of universal standard for these devices, so they're all kind of the same size, like full-size amps. I know most full-size amps do fit on top of each other pretty much. There are, I'm not going to say always, there are exceptions to the rule, but in general, most full-size amplifiers and tuners and CD players fit or stack on top of each other. They need to do the same, I think. Anyway, make it more universal. Right, so what I want to do now is a sound test. So what I've done a sound test, Now I haven't done it via the speakers, I want to have it directly from the DACs. So I've used an audio capture device and I've gone directly out of the RCAs on the back of this into Audacity and recorded a track. And I've recorded one track with this AKM plus ESS, one track with AKM and one track with ESS, and to see if we can hear any difference at all. So have a listen to this. So what do you think? Be damned if I could tell the difference. Just sounded the same to me. Let me know in the comment section, did you hear any difference between the DAC chips? I couldn't. I thought, one minute I thought I was, then I thought I wasn't. When I was choosing the wrong one, I couldn't tell the difference. So this could suggest it's not just about the DAC chip, it's how that DAC chip is implemented into the board. So that's something to be aware of, isn't it? It's not always about the DAC chip. But I couldn't hear a difference anyway. So next, I wanted to test it and see how good it was against my Topping D53. Because the Topping D53, again, on ASR, measures fantastically, really good specs on it. So I wanted to see how it measures to that. And do these measurements, by measuring better, does it make a huge sonic difference? Anyway, have a listen to this. So what do you think of that? Not much of a muchness, was it? I think the topping maybe was slightly better, but not by a huge amount. Not by a huge amount. Yeah, I thought that there was not much of a difference. Maybe some of you heard more of a difference than I did. But is that difference worth the extra 80 to 100 pounds? I don't know. Also, what I like about this Douk Audio DAC Q11 is its simplicity. For most of us, all we want is a device that you plug in, turn it on and play it. That's all we're asking for, right? Now, you're finding that a lot of these expensive DACs, the topping's no exception. I do like this DAC, don't get me wrong, I do like this DAC. Well, it's got Bluetooth LDAC and stuff like that on there. But the settings on it are mental on some of these DACs, right? You go into the settings, you're like, whoa! It's going to take me weeks to get used to all these settings, you know what I mean? Was it PEQ settings? Mind you, you can only get PEQ via a PC, not through the other inputs. You've got PEQ settings, parameters, whatever. Then you've got 10 different filters, linear, phase, roll off, roll on, phase this, phase... Jesus Christ, right? Just give me something I can plug in, turn on, and a bass and a treble. Thank you very much. I don't know, maybe some of you like all that stuff. But you go into the settings in some of these DACs, and it's ridiculous how many filters they've got and stings and all this nonsense. A good old bass and treble will suit me fine, right? So I do like the simplicity of this Douk Audio DAC. You turn it on, it's a couple of modes you need to press, nothing fancy. It does the job, and you know what? It does it pretty good, okay? It sounds really good. I got no quibbles with the sound of it. And also, I do really like the look and design of it. It's got a good clear front display. That panel on the top where you can see the PCB board is really cool. I do like that a lot. Maybe it would bug some people, you know, over time, but not me. The only thing is, though, you don't want to get any fingerprints on it because it won't look as good then, would it? Or scratch it. Anyway, so all in all, I think this Douk Audio Q11 is a very decent prospect, and I got no quibbles in recommending it. Anyway, that's come to the end of the video. Please let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section, and I will catch you in the next one.